everybody, and welcome to the weekly scopes from the 5th to the 11th of May. Hi everybody, and welcome to this week's weekly scopes. If you've heard this before, you can skip, but this is just the intro on how I formulate these astrology weekly readings. I use astrology and my intuition to give you advice how you can practically use the knowledge of the stars and the planets and apply them to your life. So my weekly scopes are all based on GMT time and on Vedic Constellational Astrology. So now I'm just going to explain what Vedic Constellation Astrology is and how it differs from Western astrology. So the precession of the equinox is sort of like something that happens in astronomy and astrology, where the Earth's axis undergoes a slow circular motion over 26,000 years, and basically this means that this motion causes a shift in the position of the equinoxes and also the calculation Vedic and Western astrologies use. So around 2,000 years ago, the tropical and sidereal Vedic astrology signs of astrology were aligned in the same position. So if the sun was in Scorpio in Vedic astrology, it was also in the constellation of Scorpio in Western astrology. But because of the precession of the equinoxes, this has caused a gradual westward sort of like drift of the tropical western signs. So basically these signs, the western signs, shift 1 degree with every 72 years. So as a result of this ongoing shift, when Western astrology says the sun is in the constellation of Pisces, it's typically in the constellation of Aquarius. Still, this is because the degree, orb and the date for Western and Vedic astrology are 24 degrees 24 days apart. So in Western astrology, the sun enters the constellation of Pisces around the 19th of February each year, but actually the sun doesn't arrive into the constellation of Pisces until the 13th to the 15th of March each year, and Vedic astrology takes this into account because it's based on the fixed star positions, and Vedic astrologers use sidereal calculations. So as a result, Vedic astrology takes into account the actual positions of the constellations in the sky at any given time, and also considers the precession of the equinox, adjusting for the shift in the position of the equinoxes over time. But in terms of Western astrology follows the tropical zodiac, which is based on the seasons rather than fixed star positions. Western astrologers also do not directly account for the precession of the equinox in their calculations as well, so this results in slightly different calculations and interpretations that are given whether we're using Western astrology or Vedic astrology. So yeah, as I said, Western astrology uses specific dates, so every year, regardless of where the sun actually is at the sky, the sun moves into Pisces around the 19th of February. So yeah, this discrepancy, this misalignment between the tropical zodiac and the actual positions of the constellations has led to a discrepancy between Vedic astrology and Western astrology. So I consider the actual where the sun and the moon are and where Mars and Venus are at any given time, and this is how I formulate these sort of like weekly scopes. So yeah, thanks for listening to this, and let's dive into this week's weekly scope. Okay, so this week we've got Saturn making a semi-square to Pluto. I did talk about it a bit last week, but it's still affecting us right until the 19th of May. So hey, I'm talking about it again because hey, you know I am. So Saturn's in Aquarius right now and Pluto's in Capricorn. And remember, I do Vedic constellational astrology is what I like to sort of like say it is, but it's based on Vedic in terms of, you know, it's based on where the actual luminaries, sun or moon, on the other planets like Venus, Mercury, Uranus, Neptune are right now. Because I'm a karmic astrologer, so the way that I see is using the fixed astrology is where we are, where we're trapped in our personality traits. But if we follow our true destiny and the true sun sign that's represented by Vedic astrology, and not just the sun sign or the other planets that are, you know, there's that constellation. This is how we break free from our karma. This is how we can transcend and move into our true astrology. But ultimately, my belief is that we're meant to transcend astrology as well. But that's for another video. So anyway, so also this week Mars makes a contra-parallel to Neptune, which is exact on the 9th of May, entered on the 2nd of May, is going to leave us around the 15th of May. Mercury is parallel to the Moon's North Node, influences this a lot this week as well. It did come in on the 17th of April, was exact on the 21st of April, but also exact again on the 9th of May, and going to, you know, loosen its influence from the 14th of May onwards. Mercury also makes a contra-parallel to Saturn. This entered on the 3rd of May, is exact on the 11th of May, and leaves on the 15th of May as well. So Saturn's semi-square to Pluto, on one hand it can lead to power struggles, obstacles in transformation, but on the other hand it encourages deep introspection and growth. For example, during this transit someone may face setbacks in their career, but ultimately, you know, they can discover their true passion and purpose. So the theme of this week, what all that happens that seems to be bad or to your detriment may not be. Also, Mars is in the contra-parallel with Neptune, so this brings confusion and misunderstanding in actions and motivations. This aspect can sort of like blur the boundaries and lead to unrealistic expectations. So, for example, someone could feel drained and unmotivated due to unclear goals and priorities right now. Mercury's parallel to the Moon's North Node brings a time of increased intuition and intellectual growth. It supports us in communicating our decision-making skills and supporting progress towards personal and professional goals. So, for instance, someone may find themselves easily connected with others and receiving valuable insights that pushes them forward under this influence this week. Mercury's contra-parallel to Saturn can bring challenges this week towards expressing our thoughts and ideas effectively. It can also bring delays and frustrations in our communication, leading to misunderstandings or feelings of being restricted. So, for example, you could be facing difficulties in articulating your plans at work due to miscommunication with colleagues or superiors. So this can, you know, go into any type of relationship as well. So this week, you know, because contra-parallels are the same as oppositions, so we've got Mars's nature in opposition to Neptune's nature, we've got Mercury's nature in opposition to Saturn, and Mercury's our communication, Mars is our drive. So, you know, Neptune's delusions can get in the way of our drive and ambition this week. Mercury's opposition to Saturn can get in the way of our communications this week as well. But Mercury's parallel to the Moon's North Node is, yeah, we're having a difficult week, but whatever happens now is leading you to your highest goal, to your highest potential. So it's all good in the hood, sort of. So, on the 5th of May, the Sun's making a semi-sextile to the Moon's North Node, and the Moon's North Node goes retrograde again. And as I said last week, it happens a couple of times a month. It happens quite a lot, you know. So, you know, this can explain why sometimes the world, the collective, is sometimes we get overly emotional or introspective, or, you know, there's delays with emotions and stuff. So, yeah. Anyway, and remember, guys, as well, I do daily videos, and for those that feel like they need a daily dose of astrology, where I'll go into each of these aspects in more depth, like the day-to-days of the things, and it can just be good to keep you on track with your week. So if you want to check them out, then check the link in the description. So yeah, 5th of May, the Sun's semi-sextile to the Moon's North Node know, this allows us to increase our personal growth and align with our life's purpose. This combination fosters, creates, provides the ground for self-discovery. It can boost our confidence and just helps, you know, us being more open to connecting with others who can support us on our journey, or we can support them on their journey, because, you know, it's a two-way sort of like stream. So on the flip side, there can be a tendency to feel overwhelmed by this energy, by the need for change that it can bring, and we can fear stepping out of our comfort zone. And you know, us humans, we love our comfort zone. So yeah, so the intensity of these emotions during this transit can also lead to inner conflicts or power struggles within relationships. The best use of this energy is goal setting, engaging in activities that nurture self-development and spiritual evolution. It's favourable time to work on building positive habits, exploring new opportunities and deepening our understanding of our emotions and desires. On the other hand, the moon's north node going retrograde brings in the karma of it all, wants us to reevaluate, supports us in, you know, just reassessing our life path, releasing outdated patterns or beliefs, and making the necessary changes to align with our soul's purpose. While this transit can bring up sort of like unresolved issues or past life traumas that we need to heal, it can also provide valuable insights into our past lives or current life circumstances, signaling to us, showing us what we need to let go of. So it's a time this energy really wants us to start or continue the work of letting go of what no longer serves us, and embrace transformational growth, and embrace self-awareness and forgiveness, and practice mindfulness, which are key to this transit, you know. So overall, both of them support, these energies support spiritual awakening, personal evolution, just doing things that, you know, get us into alignment, which is why I love astrology, because I see it as a psychological tool. It can show us, karmic astrologer, so I believe in reincarnation. I like to say I know reincarnation without being, you know, pompous or seeing fun of it, but, you know, to me, reincarnation is a fact. So it can just show us, I use astrology as a tool to say, hey, what was this soul doing in my past life? So that's what the natal chart's all about. It can show us that, what does our soul need to, for us to sort of like, learn this lifetime. And as I said, I see the fixed zodiac, the tropical zodiac, and I'm sorry for Western astrologers, as the thing that keeps us in the matrix, whereas constellational astrology is kind of like the thing that can get us out of the matrix and get us into the many different dimensions that I believe are out there. So yeah, on the 6th of May, the moon goes into void, of course. Saturn also makes a semi-square to Pluto, and the moon also enters Aries as well. So, as I said at the beginning, Saturn semi-square to Pluto pushes us to confront deep-seated issues and transform them so we can grow, but it can also bring control and power struggle issues to the surface. The moon in Aries infuses us with energy, drive and courage, and it can be positive for starting new projects, taking bold actions. And negatively though, if we don't use Aries energy, you know, effectively, it can make us more impatient, impulsive, not wanting to respect other people's boundaries or enforce ours as well. So the best use of these energies is to face our fears, make the necessary changes, as well as using the bold and assertive energy of the moon in Aries to take decisive actions towards reaching your goals, standing up for yourself, allowing other people to enforce their boundaries as well, because sometimes it's like, I want to do what I want to do, but I want you to do what I want you to do, forget what you want to do. So, you know, that's not fair. So anyway, these energies allow us to have some depth and purpose that can just add to the themes of personal growth and empowerment of this week, but, you know, the language of astrology as a whole. So yeah, on the 7th of May, Mercury makes a conjunction to Chiron. The Sun makes a sextile to Saturn, so when Mercury aligns with Chiron through a conjunction, it signifies a time for deep healing in our communication and self-reflection into the ways that we communicate as well. It can bring profound insights into old wounds, helping us, grow emotionally, spiritually, psychologically in our understanding and respect for ourselves and others, especially when it comes to the way we communicate and other people communicate. So it's a good thing to sort of like deal with communication issues, which, I struggle with my speech impediment, but it's all good, we have to embrace our flaws. And so positively, this energy allows us to be more self-compassionate, self-expressive and empathetic, listening to each other and our own thoughts, creating better relationships with ourselves and increasing our self-awareness as well. But the challenge of this aspect lies in the potential for communication difficulties, as it can trigger past traumas if not dealt with sensitively. It's crucial to approach conversations with care and an open heart during this time to avoid misunderstandings or hurt feelings. The Sun sextile to Saturn in astrology creates a harmonious blend of stability and ambition, so supporting the Saturn energy that I talked about earlier. It's a nice harmonious aspect. So earlier I was talking about the contraparallel with Saturn and opposition. This is a unison with Saturn that the Sun's making, so it allows us to work towards our long-term goals, be more stable, be more ambitious, promoting self-discipline and increasing our productivity and sense of accountability and responsibility. So it's good to say sorry, to apologise, to accept apologies as well, and it can increase our focus, perseverance and sense of purpose. But nevertheless, there can be a tendency to be overly cautious or rigid in our approaches, potentially getting in the way of our creativity and us being flexible. So it's essential to strike a balance between being structured right now and innovative, and being cautious. So the best use of today's energies are being strategic with our planning, being determined. This synergy can support transformative conversations, as I said, that lead to concrete actions towards personal growth, making amends with others, apologising, and also supports us in progress and making achievements. So some of you may get recognition, or just give yourself recognition. Life can be hard, and sometimes we can be so hard on ourselves, and we've got that contrapart with Saturn this week, so we can be really pessimistic and overly critical on ourselves and others this week as well. So just be mindful of balancing sensitivity with practicality this week to make the most of these energies. So today, on the 8th of May, that is, the moon enters void of course. There's a super new moon as well that happens when the moon's in Aries, and then the moon goes into Taurus at 2:37. So when I'm doing these, I like to, when it's a day like this, when there's a new moon and it's in Aries but it's going into Taurus, so I call it the Aries Taurus new moon. Separate audio and all of that if you want to check that out anyway. So when the moon enters Taurus, when the moon enters Taurus, we are presented with a blend of contrasting energies. So positively, it can bring stability, grounded, and Jupiter's gone into Taurus as well, and the moon's supporting that energy over the next few days. So it just helps us with that grounding, bringing practicality to our emotions, encourages us to slow down, appreciate the beauty of the natural world, and indulge in life's pleasures. But negatively, we can sometimes be too stubborn with this energy, resistant to change, overly materialistic, so we can overspend. We might find ourselves more inclined to be possessive or reluctant to step out of our comfort zone during this time as well. So it's a good energy to focus on self-care with, pamper ourselves with, connect with nature, connect with your lovers, friends, cook for them, because Taurus is earthy. So gardening's good right now as well with this energy, and just engaging in activities that require patience, determination and perseverance, such as long-term projects or financial planning. So, as I said, it's great to find solace in spending time alone or with others, cooking a delicious meal, as I said, surrounded by comfort, scents of burning incense, aromatherapy, using textures, or snuggling in your favourite jumper or duvet, or or just giving you that sense of lux, having a nice shower, having a nice bath, and you may feel inspired right now at this time to create a budget, stick to your budget, or make saving plans for future financial security as well. So on the 9th of May, Mercury makes a semi-sextile to Uranus. So this combines the quality of communication, Mercury, with sudden changes and innovation represented by Uranus. So this can bring about moments of brilliant insights. It can make us more innovative. So we can come up with some genius ideas right now. We can be more open-minded. It can inspire us to think outside the box and communicate our thoughts in a unique and unconventional way, breaking from tradition. So we may come up with, as I said, ingenious solutions to a problem at work that impress our colleagues, or relationship problems, or come up with a solution that's been, haunting us for ages. So negatively, we can be scattered in our thinking. We can be restless and impulsive. We can find it challenging to focus on tasks for extended periods of time, and we can experience disruptions in communication or technology. So, for example, we may struggle to concentrate during an important meeting due to our mind being filled with multiple ideas at once. So just doing things to ground us is the best use of this energy, but be spontaneous as well and be open to the originality and genius it brings. Use this time to brainstorm new projects, engage in stimulating conversations, and explore alternative methods of communication. So, for example, you can use this energy to revamp your social media presence with fresh and innovative content that captures attention, or start that blog, wear that funky dress, just express your individuality. And so you can experiment with different forms of self-expression by maybe writing some poetry, or trying out a new artistic creative medium. By channeling the positive aspects of Mercury semi-sextile to Uranus, we can unlock our creative potential and create a mindset that welcomes change and unconventional thinking. So going back to those solar lunar eclipses that we had in April and March, the end of March and the beginning of April, what's wanting us to purging of the old priesthood of tradition with the Sabian symbol that was involved in, I think it was the Pisces total solar eclipse. So this just wants us to break free, continue breaking free. So it's supporting us in continuously breaking free from all that binds us, And also at 6:32 this morning and 7:55 this morning, Mars is making its contra parallel to Neptune, and Mercury's parallel to the Moon's North Node are exact, but I talked about them at the beginning. On the 10th of May, the Moon enters Void, of course, Mercury enters Aries, and the Moon enters Gemini. So when Mercury enters Aries, and there's a whole separate audio for that as well, because we've just had those retrogrades and that. So it's been in Aries and Pisces, and now it's moving forward. So then, it may seem like, Aries has been here before, and the truth is, yes, it has. But yeah, so when Mercury enters Aries, our communication style can become more direct and assertive. We may feel more confident in expressing our thoughts and ideas. This transit can bring a surge of mental energy, making it a great time for brainstorming new projects or initiatives. However, it can lead to impulsive decision making and heated debates if not managed carefully. On the other hand, when the Moon enters Gemini, there can be an increase in intellectual curiosity and social interaction, which is good, because we can find ourselves more adaptable and open to new experiences during this time. And it's a favourable energy for networking, learning new skills, or connecting with others on a deeper level, but also Gemini energy can make us, because it's mutable, can make us more scattered and prone to superficial conversations and indecision. So gossiping, so just watch out for that, make sure you check your facts before repeating them and believing anything that you hear as well. So it's important to use these energies of today to communicate assertively, but be thoughtful in the way that you speak, and just be open to different perspectives than your own, because sometimes we can just be in our own little bubble and not open, and this is why we are problematic in the world. Because even me with my beliefs, I understand that my beliefs from my experiences, this is why I no longer try to change anyone but ourselves, because number one, change is hard work. I've been trying to change for a long period in my life, and there's still things that I haven't changed, not because I haven't been actively trying to, but just habits, they take a lifetime. It's day-to-day work. This is why I do this podcast and my other holistic individual podcast, because change is hard, and this is why I say it's a step-by-step process. It's all about, the journey, not the destination. And because as humans, our innate thing is to focus on the destination, like, I want to get there now, and we forget about the journey, but the journey is really important. So yeah, it's important to maintain a balance between assertiveness and flexibility to avoid conflicts and confusion today. So on the 11th of May, finishing the week up, Mercury makes its exact contraparallel to Saturn at 121, so I talked about that at the beginning. Mars makes a semi-square to Uranus, Venus is making a semi-square to Neptune, and the Sun's making a semi-sextile to Chiron as well, and the Moon enters its crescent moon phase. So also Venus makes a semi-sextile to the Moon's north node. So there's a lot going on. That's why I do the daily scopes, because I go into them a whole lot more, but I know that sometimes people just want a weekly overview, so I try to cater for everybody. So yeah, Mars' semi-square to Uranus brings independence, innovation to our day, allowing us to break free from restrictions and limitations. But on the negative, it can also add to the impulsiveness of the week, the restlessness and the conflicts if we don't use this energy properly. So the best use of this energy is to make bold changes, embrace new opportunities, be more open to using creative solutions to overcome challenges, and go after your passions right now. So for example, some of you may feel compelled push to start a new fitness routine right now that incorporates unconventional exercises, or you may want to start a spontaneous adventure that pushes your boundaries. So good for trip planning, or even if it's just if normally you don't leave the house, going for a walk, or if you can, if you're physically able and stuff like that, but just doing something out of your comfort zone, breaking from that routine. Venus' semi-square to Neptune adds to us being more creative, compassionate, and allows us to, connect spiritually on a deeper level with others, even if it's just on a deeper intellectual level. But negatively, it can blur boundaries in relationships, leading to pedestaling, idealization, and the feelings of delusionment if, the person who we think we're in love with ain't who we want them to be. And like I said, Neptune energy, and it's in the semi-square with Venus, we can want to escape. So just watch out for toxic relationships right now and doing toxic things. Make sure you get consent in hookups and casual relationships, even in committed relationships. Just make sure you check the facts. Take time and space to think. Don't feel the need to be pushed into any decisions. That's what I'm trying to say, yeah? So the best use of this energy is to, look after yourself, loving yourself, nourish your soul. You can express your love through poetry to yourself, or if you're in a relationship with others, engage in charitable activities, explore your spiritual beliefs more deeply during this transit to tap into its positive potential. The Sun's semi-sextile to Chiron provides opportunities for growth and healing and self-awareness, particularly in areas where you have experienced past wounds or insecurities. It may also bring up old pain or trigger emotional vulnerability as you confront issues that require attention and resolution. The best use of this energy is to take time to work on self-healing, seek guidance from mentors or therapists, and engage in activities that promote self-discovery, to just sort of be open, because this celestial alignment, the universe weaves sort of like a tapestry of energy that influences our inner landscapes. The dance of these planets ignites a spark of inspiration in us, and that's what it wants to do. And in these moments moments of reflection. It urges us to navigate the ebb and flow of life with more grace and resilience. In terms of the crescent moon, it symbolises a time of growth and momentum moving forward, wanting us and supporting us in taking action towards our goals. So when combined with Venus's semi-sextile to the moon's north node, it encourages us to embrace the new beginnings, make progress in our personal development. Venus's semi-sextile to the moon's north node brings harmony in relationships and helps us to attract opportunities that aligns with our soul purpose, but again it adds to the restlessness and impatience of the week. So the best use of this particular energy is to nurture yourself and our relationships, connect with yourself and others authentically. You may feel inspired to start a new project that aligns with your passions. So ultimately this energy is great to take steps towards, reaching your goals and aspirations and developing, cultivating more meaningful connections with those who support your journey and being supportive to others on their journey as well. So yeah, that was the weekly scopes from the 5th to the 11th of May.